Let's go. Dude, I hate Red so much when he steals my fucking staggers. Such a shit design. Choice. Okay, that's actually great right there, because I can do this. But the nice thing is they both were in the range of the Rowan Star, so they got kind of stuck on it both together. I want the Whirlwind to hit them both, but the getting them both stuck on the Throwing Star is great, actually.
Alright, let's see how this plays out. How you like this? Ready for a smackdown?
Okay, I'm not close enough.
Well, can't fault him for trying.
Pretty decent. Yuffie is very quick. I like it a lot more. Problem is, because it's quicker, you end up having to reset more, because any bad encounters will cost you the run. Or at least a PB or a world record or whatever for the most part. But that also means that if you're not worried about it, you just want to do speed runs regardless. It's a pretty good category because it's so much shorter. But the shorter is like a double-edged sword, unfortunately, right? It's shorter, so you have to have a higher tolerance. You have to take a lot dumber shots. This is really awful, actually.
Make way for the amazing Yuffie.
There was nothing I could have done about that, to be honest. You kind of had to take that one. Normally what I'd want to do is throw in Windstorm like I did with the other ones, but those Gorgers were so far apart, I ended up having to cast. The reason I used the Blizzaga on the Flying Drake is the Windstorm doesn't do enough to the rats, or it takes forever for them to get close, and it's very unlikely that they'll group together. So I end up just using the Blizzara to kill the rats, trigger a stagger, and then throw, and then Windstorm the Drake, which acts like a wind spell. So take advantage of it. Get the extra damage. So these dogs here, there's a couple of different ways you can deal with them. Later in the game, in the main game, and right away in the DLC, dogs get the ability to dodge ice. And they're pretty consistent about it. I'd say it's like a 50-50. You could just YOLO the ice here if you wanted to, but I don't do that anymore. The easiest way to get this consistent is to throw at one of them, and then he'll dodge out of the way naturally, and then you can just spam Perfect Guard. And as long as you Perfect Guard, you get put in a pressure so he can't dodge the ice.
Have no fear. Yuffie's here.
Like that. Blizzara.
Cold breath coming through.
I do the Blizzara just in case he hops out of the, or the Art of War just in case he hops out of the way of the Blizzard. Normally, the one that's pressured will go down to ice, but it's kind of a give and take. The damage was an issue, so I probably did need it, depending on if I got hit before the ice came out or not. What I'm talking about is I've got Gozu Drive on. The Chthonian Armlet has 2 special accessories that only function when you have the Chthonian on, which is fine, because it's 4 slots anyway, so that's good for us. The Chthonian has Gozu and Mezu Drive. They're probably like integral to the Yuffie speedrun, honestly. It's a 50% damage buff, though it's on a sliding scale depending on certain factors. One, I believe Gozu is HP based, and the higher your HP is, the higher that percentage. So as long as you're not getting hit by stuff, you're staying at 50%. If you get hit at stuff, so if you get hit, you start losing that, and it's percentages based on your HP, so it slides down pretty quickly, honestly. Mezu Drive is MP based, and it's actually the opposite. The lower your MP, the better. And since MP really isn't readily available in hard, you could theoretically route into Mezu Drive at the end before Nero, so you can output more damage the further on you get into that fight.
Anyone
so,
who lives where you just came from,
you know,
think of it as a
it is
code
something to
name.
consider.
Still can't believe they sent a kid to do this job.
This kid could kick your
There's
ass.
several different ways that you can handle the problems.
Oh, don't worry. I know exactly
But overall,
what you're saying.
your 3 choices are Kindred Chord, Gozu Mezu,
Well,
or
ladies first.
the double God or Dummerungs you can get from the Top Secrets boss rush. So God or Dummerungs give you a free limit. We're limited to level 1 limits, because Yuffie can't learn level 2. There's no mission to get it like the other main characters. We do have synchronized limits through Sonon, but we're probably not going to want to use that. Honestly, limits do enough damage
Just be
to
careful.
hit what we need, at least when we're
Someone's
under
got
buff.
Walmart. Let's
Normally
just
the main
make
party would have
sure
Fury
there's
Rings
lots of
on. That's our
people.
defaulto
Like
equipment
bars.
because it gives us Berserk,
Where everyone
30%
can go
damage
eat
buff, 30% damage taken,
It's called
30%
interesting.
increased damage
I don't
taken.
know
So it's
where
30 on
exactly
both. Your output and your intake are both boosted by 30%. And it's quite significant. That's why Gozu is very important. Yuffie's stats are only about as good as Barrett's. So that 50% makes or breaks her, to be perfectly honest.
Of course you.
Even with limits on the table, when the fights are so short, you can only get a chance to fire it off once. You really need to choose well, and it's not like you can use refocus or something to make more use of the limits. So
You ever feel like some virtual training?
there's a couple of things that are obviously missing from her
I just want to make
If you had an idea, but with all
her
the fiasco-
mission or her side of the game. Refocus isn't there, so you can't split your HP into thirds off a limit. She doesn't have enemy skills, so you can't abuse any of those or learn any of them for the most part. And she doesn't have the Fury Ring, so you have to play skillfully to keep her damage buff up. So we want to start here with a dog, but since I got bad luck, I'm just gonna... Are you kidding me? Stupid thing. Thunder. That's so obnoxious. Let's go up to arrow. Stop. I wanted to do the dog, but I screwed up the way I did it, so ended up losing time to that. Should have been around a 38, but starting with the you can do decently with the drone, but the problem is I placed it over to the left for no particular reason. I should have just placed it in the center immediately.
I've kind of
Sure about that?
material.
That's right.
Whatever.
Problem is the dog gets all the way across, so you end up losing time not getting the dog. Because the dog will ignore any other troops, it'll just go straight for the bases.
I won't stop you. Just don't
With the
go too
Grandmaster
far,
board, you
okay?
only have 5 slots, so it's a 4 out of 5. And the stuff recharges so quickly that you can place down units really fast. It's basically a hard reset, unfortunately, because it is a couple of seconds lost that you really don't need to. At least if you're going for, like, world record.
Well then, the happy turtle
Well,
and the
whatever
rules, and
we
you'll
see
learn
as
it,
world record,
sadly.
because I think it's like a 47...
But
11
hey,
or
by
something, or
collecting
high
this here's and now it's up
46
to you.
is the
That
current
prize?
time.
This job
Mine
makes
is like a 47, 18, something like that. Unfortunately, I spent like literally those 8 of those seconds, 9, 10 of those seconds trying to target my limit at the end of Nero. So I ended up being 20 seconds off instead of 10.
So,
Combat.
And at least the 10 I could have been like, well, that's my fault
When you
because I
feel
played
suitably
poorly in certain
prepared.
fights for
Sonon's
derust
gotta
run,
be
but
worse by now.
means this could probably go a little bit lower with some YOLO strats and some better routing. I need to fix some of my routing because I make some pretty poor choices in terms of things. Art of War is really strong. It's much like Tifa's Star Shower. I think it has it's a little bit easier to interrupt, but it buffs the next move by 40%. Close enough. Yuffie has Bloodsucker, so I want to buff her damage. Well, Bloodsucker will recover HP on
You guys all
kill,
set?
so I could
Okay,
recover her
streets
HP
are kind of
naturally through
maze,
killing
so
stuff.
Stay close.
But we got to deal with the Corneo thugs, and I'm not sure if my strat
pick
would
up your
kill
IDs.
Without that
There's
HP.
no way to get
Probably
topside without
does.
him. But I thought DJ was getting our high Ds.
Because I actually
What happened
use
with that? He is, but
Blizzara
those are
Magnify
different.
and
It takes
Windstorm
more
to
than
group
one
them
ID,
together
or
so that
even
they
two
all
to
get
survive in this
multi-hit by
town.
Blizzaras.
Don't forget, Midgar was built by Shinra.
I just want to make sure, though, that they die as soon as possible. Because the longer they take to die, the longer it takes them to stand back up, because they only start standing back up once the final one of them is dead.
So Yuffie, what do you think of the Undercity? Way too crowded. I can't stand it. Ugh, the stench. How can anyone live here?
Gotta agree with you about the smell, but you get used to it quick enough.
And the crowds stop bothering you
Ugh.
eventually. The place can grow on you if you give it a chance.
Fun, fun.
Wait a second. Are you actually saying you like it here? I thought you hated it.
Midgar isn't the enemy. Shinra is. I know W's don't really see the distinction, but we do.
Then what was that stuff on the news? about a reactor blowing up and all. No way that was an accident. It had to be avalanche. Shh. Sorry. What's up?
Those guys there are from the Splinter Cell.
Splinter Cell?
They used to be with Avalanche, but left after a policy dispute.
Wow, look who it is.
We proudly carry Fort Condor.
Get your hands on the board game sensation.
What?
No.
The people in the Splinter Cell, they couldn't care less about collateral damage, long as Shinra goes down.
So what's wrong with that? Sounds good to me.
We're not out to blow Midgar up or tear it down.
Okay, could you not do that?
Shinra. Look around. 9 out of 10 of the people living here are innocent bystanders. We can't level their home to take down one company.
Well, that company almost leveled our home, and they've got to learn their lesson.
Yeah, I get that.
Gotta admit, I'm surprised you agreed to work with us.
We're just doing what we think is necessary to build a brighter future. That's all there is to it.
In other words, you're working with us so we don't work with your old buddies, knowing what would happen if we did.
Can we table this for later, maybe? Not sure now's the best time for heavy topics.
Yeah, couldn't agree more. Consider it tabled.
So,
Like after we... So once we...
I get...
And not just by sneaking in, not only will, but we'll prove that the gist of it...
Sure is.
Alright. So we're gonna throw a windstorm here. Drag him in. Build a little bit of ATB while they're so close. Probably could have just started a ward at that point, but whatever. My ATB was really low. I was just worried about one of them running out of my attacks.
Who were those creeps anyway?
Don Corneo's talent scouts.
So yeah.
They'll say and do just about anything to get unsuspected.
That Genova
back
strat's
to the
super
Don's
cool.
mansion.
The person that didn't want me to learn it though,
Guess you
so it
have
was
to
like
be a scumbag to build a place like that.
responding to the message because he didn't want me to blame him for chance if I
saw
finished,
him scouting the area.
if I lost runs to it. If I lose runs to it, that fight is so in your control. It's a lot more in your control than any of the other fights I've done at this point. It doesn't feel like it's really a clusterfuck of inputs, to be perfectly honest. It's spamming 2 or 3 inputs back to back really quick, like using Disorder, Braver, and Star Shower spams to just rip away Genova's HP early on. Leaves ATB ward up, and if you give
Why is he doing this to
Aerith
her?
some ATB,
I don't like this
it lets you
sound of
loop your
this.
ATB much quicker.
Well, if you ask me, it's high time things picked up around here.
You like living in the fast lane, huh?
Yeah, I'm not your garden variety Wu-Taian. I'm a rare bloom.
More like a mutant.
Ooh, I'm so gonna use that.
Almost there.
Alright,
Hey,
so we're gonna...
that's Jijia.
You're right. Hold up. Boss,
There we
we've
go.
been for a while. Best to stock up before leaving.
Let's see if we can get out of Chapter 1 Arena.
Whatever it was.
Well, we're gonna get out of Chapter 1, period.
Oh, now I
Unless I
feel-
wipe somehow.
No time for that, boss.
Right.
You got grit, I'll give you that. Piece of shit. He's toying with us.
Some kind of factory or something?
Alright, you guys gonna work with me here? Cool.
And if it's anything like that, it'll be
Nice.
fun with monsters.
It's not common that I get such good placement. That'll save me a couple seconds. Normally I have to cast Blizzara there and it takes a while for it to pop and hit them both. I'm not sure if a unthrown windstorm will kill here, so we're gonna trying to get a roll out of that, but oh no! Damn it. Sometimes. Maybe I could time it to hit in between those crates. I don't know if that's possible. I must have lost a lot of time getting the Corneo thugs because I kept bonking into stuff. because I was typing with my right hand. So I wasn't paying attention. Wouldn't be the first time. So we're gonna see GJ here. Oh, nice. I managed to get full speed. That was fantastic. If you do very good camera management, you can keep full speed in some of these instead of just a slowdown. It's pretty hard to do, honestly. A lot of the time, it's very easy to miss the camera angles and get a regular one. But, what are you gonna do?
You think Niall's alright?
She's a local, remember?
Since I'm in New Game Plus, I can't use any items.
You know, she's actually
So there's no
pretty
reason to
cool.
break any of these crates.
Feel
None of
bad
them
saying
have,
this, but after what happened back home, I just kind of
MP,
assumed no one in Avalanche could be trusted. Like, they were
none of them have Mako shards in them, so it doesn't matter.
I can imagine.
But it looks like
Not
Avalanche
a
has changed a
single
lot
thing.
since that went down, huh?
That one right there, I haven't ever seen perfect movement on. At least not from me. So we're gonna start with a windstorm on this idiot. Hopefully build up enough bar, go into an Art of War. We're gonna do it this way. Please don't run out of the way. Nice. Okay. I'm okay with this. Let me see here. I'll get some of my HP back off these soldiers, and then I'll kind of figure it out from there. I'll probably ride this HP. Not gonna bother healing. My HP is... I have plenty of MP to heal with, but I'll figure it out when I get there. Oh, never mind. Absolutely don't have enough MP. Bro.
You gotta run to think before you act, boss.
Okay. Yeah, I definitely needed to heal up there. Good to know.
Whatever.
If the elite trooper survives, then what I'm about to fight definitely will survive my shenanigans without full HP. I think it's like a Bloodhound or Zenene. I think it's Bloodhound. It's that thick dog. Those thick dogs have a lot of HP. Pretty good camera management there, though. Normally very bad at remembering to manage that one. So we want to do this right here, and we can do this right here. Get it back as soon as possible. Pretty quick. I tried it the other way, and it just takes longer. So we're gonna Synergy again, and Windstorm, because this guy is weak to magic. So we're gonna build up a little bit of bar here, hopefully. Just enough to get the Windstorm out. That'd be great, I guess not. So we gotta get the stagger here. What we're looking for is a stagger into the Synchronized Art of War. And then Banishment. Banishment will buff the damage, so we should always kill him in this setup. Or Art of War buffs the Banishment damage. You usually want to fire off Banishment at full charge, so 6 commands done before. But there's several cases where 3 will get you through. Especially if you're buffing it by Art of War, you'll usually push out enough damage to kill almost anything. Especially if it's synergized Art of War, it hits pretty hard. So the enemies usually don't manage to survive that kind of chicanery. This is another set of dogs, so I'm going to do the same thing where I... okay. I'm very confused. We're going to Art of War this. That was very weird. I'm absolutely not... I have no idea what happened there. I've never seen the dogs tank the throw. They're supposed to dodge it, so I must have been so close that I bugged it out that the AI didn't activate or couldn't activate. I was just trying to get close enough to make sure that I could freaking guard after I recovered from the throw. Because you'll always whiff and then it'll bounce and come back. So that materia over there should be elemental, but since I already grabbed it, it's been replaced with a healing materia. That's how the game handles unique materia like that. Everything else it's deleted and replaced with another one. Wind and ice are really strong with Magnify, but wind doesn't see much use here because there's not enough flying enemies to get away with it. Ice and its extremely high stagger value, and it's duplicating all copies of ice.
Yeah, I know.
Just make it, just sell itself way easier. Okay, so we're gonna go into this, into Windstorm. One of the reasons I Windstorm here is so that I can break the crate over there. Why is my ATV so bad recently? Ugh. Die. Alright, so... you would think, yeah, I guess we're not gonna get that. I don't need any MP for the boss, so I could theoretically dump my MP out and go into Mesu Drive and not worry about my HP at all. But it is kind of nice to have a little bit of a leeway, just in case. If I, you know, mess something up and need to cast a spell at a distance or whatever. So we're going to top everyone off and wait out this trip. Be back in a little bit, because it's going to take a while. Meds out, so it's just about that time for me. So the stuff at the end here, there's a couple of Phoenix down, pretty useless. A couple of Celeruses, which would give haste if I could use items. An elixir, a couple of Turbo Ethers, and I believe Turbo Potions. But since they're all items, I can't grab them, or I can't use them. There's no point in bothering to get them. And I don't save this when I'm done, so I'm not farming elixirs or anything. I don't even know if this will add to the main item pool. Of note, though, if you guys missed this, there's a crate up here. This is one lone crate. This is about 5k gil. So, that I can use if I really wanted to. I don't know. I'm not sure how many people know about that, though. It is quite a long ride for 5k, but, you know, these end items plus that are pretty good. Especially if you're farming to, like, be a new game runner, or a normal or easy runner. These items can make your life a lot easier. Because you can grind, you can spam out your magic for Mezu Drive, and then refill your, Okay. I thought my internet was just dead in general. Great. Sorry about that. I have no idea what causes my internet to do that kind of garbage. It just drops out sometimes. No matter how many times I call and bitch, it just never, nothing ever happens with it. I just need to just turn my router off every time before I start streaming so that I can be like, hey, ding dong. My stream keeps dying out when I'm streaming. Did you reset your router? Yes, I did. I turned it off right before I started. So what's your excuse? So we're gonna actually go in for the realsies here. This first boss is both very simple and pretty hard. The thing is, this first phase is pretty slow. If you can get away with out-damaging it without staggering, then you're in a pretty decent position. I'm probably going to add on Lightning Elemental just to buff my damage here. Because I can get a lot of ATB off of blocking bullets here. That is not even correct, but I guess we're going to have to deal with it. Okay, that's really wrong.
Let's do this.
Got it.
Okay. Okay, let's do a little bit of damage here. Do that a couple of times because I need the damage. Okay.
Back to it.
So I want to make sure that my damage is back up. I need to cure Yuffie. I want to upgrade up her damage to the max. I needed to also get rid of that. That was a big mistake. That's going to screw up my ATB game, but it's fine. So you want to make sure you don't get slapped by the tail, because that does several thousand damage. And by several thousand, I mean like 3 or 4. So that's a huge swing. That like drops you about like 10 or 20%, I'd imagine, in damage. So just gonna do nothing special here. What I'm looking for is I'm waiting for these little eyes to spawn here, the mono drives or whatever, so that I can do this and then that.
Little critters.
What does it need them for?
There's a couple of different ways you can do that with banishment as well. It's just more efficient to do it with, like this. So my ATB management's gonna be a little jank, I think, if I remember correctly. So we're gonna wanna synergize. Okay, that's fine.
So now you come home.
Alright, so what I'm gonna do is tag a couple of times. I'm just gonna do a couple of normal attacks here into a synchronized Art of War, into a management. Actually, I probably don't need to synchronize Art of War, honestly. Whatever, we'll do it anyway because that's what I'm on. You do get this cutscene. That is quite a significant amount of damage. What are you doing? Oh, I didn't realize my ATB was that low. I thought I got my normal attacks off. Oops. Well, whatever. So that's what I mean. Like, that boss is extremely easy in terms of that, but the optimizations can be different based on the runner. Normally what you're trying to do is avoid staggering that first phase because it's a waste of time and just getting the damage out anyway. The less cutscenes you can, the less of those synchronized triggers you can hit, the better. It is a little bit of a time loss. I don't know why I'm trying to skip this. It's just a mash. And then you also, you're trying to make sure that you get him to crawl off immediately. So you want to hit Centipede on that first circle. Normally what you would do is start with Lightning Elemental, but I was mashing too hard, so I popped out Fire Elemental. I do have Lightning Elemental on my weapon, so I honestly could probably avoid it. I probably should switch over to Ice Elemental or something, to be perfectly honest.
I think we're good here.
There's some enemies where, I don't know, Lightning Elemental's probably better. But I don't need lightning spells for anything, so... Alright, so, see you later, Shinra. There's a couple of different times that, like, that exact cutscene plays out. That starts on his face. There's, like, one in Chapter 7, or Chapter 6 going into Chapter 7. There's one right there, and I think there's another one later in the game where he's holding another press conference. So it's not very obvious with the Yuffie, but the main game you have to do a lot of management to get the camera in the right spot, so that you can minimize the camera from the game. What I mean is the game likes to wrench the camera controls out from your control, and it'll stop you from moving in that situation. So Scarlet's gonna pop up here, so I'm just kind of like chilling out over here instead. And then I'll move back to where I want, because I want to like minimize the camera jank here.
That's my master.
You might even not see it depending, but I think it does pull out a little bit, and you can't get the exact camera angle you would normally get here.
More importantly,
yeah, because it offsets to the right. That's as close as you can get, though. So there is an enemy over here that I'm going to want to take care of. I'm going to use Thundera Magnify from Sonon to get rid of the drones and stuff, and then just a double Art of War from Yuffie to get rid of the sweeper. So we're gonna go Thundera. And then this. Piece of garbage. I don't know why that caused the jump back. Some of her attacks are very weird, and I haven't, like, learned her combo route exclusively. Exclusive. I don't know what the hell that's. Okay, stop. I haven't learned her combo route just yet, so I don't know what some buttons trigger. That was really bad. If I had waited just a little bit, I would have one-shot them.
what? There's more?
So I do have ATB Assist on Sonon, which is kind of a dum-dum move, because he's never, ever going to trigger it because of Synergy. So we're going to go Blizzard... that's wrong. Blizzara...
I hope you were later. Ready for a smackdown?
Are you serious with this?
Gotcha. I'm unstoppable.
I have no idea what all that nonsense was, but I'll take it. I gotta be careful with Sonon's HP, because it's gonna, or MP, because it's the only way I'm gonna be able to recover up until I get to Nero. I'm gonna switch over to Haste, Kiriga Magnify and Haste Magnify for Sonon. So I need to make sure he has at least 12 MP to get away with that. Okay, nice. I moved too close. too optimal. If you do notice, the shuriken becomes like a bigger, what basically looks like a normal ninja shuriken, not the one that she actually throws, not the 4-point. It's kind of weird. It looks like one of those big ones from Naruto that are just like an oversized fucking shuriken. That's like the body size of the human rather than the size of a, you know, a little small one. So I'm gonna grab the box here because this actually has MP in it. I will recover some MP naturally, but for the most part, it's gonna be a war of optimizations. So you gotta be careful with the synergize here. Okay, that was annoying. Sometimes they'll trigger a dodge animation. I think it was Sonon attacking. So instead of taking the final hit, the damn thing jumped out of it. A lot of Shinra crates actually have nothing in them useful anyway. They're all items and garbage. In hard, items are 100% garbage because we can't use them.
Let's keep moving, boss.
So, I'm just gonna tap this real quick. Anytime. Then as soon as you interact with it, you can skip. You do get some materia in here. There's some useful ones. I think it's like HP up, MP up. You can grab in here. And the more important one is Ninja Cannonball for new game runs. Because I have access to First Strike, Skill Master, and Stagger and stuff, through doing the Box Bash minigame, that stuff's a lot less useful. Or at least, the Cannonball is. The reason I'm going to want to use Cannonball, though, is Sonon likes to stand inside explosive death rattles of enemies. If you're familiar with that, their final attack or whatever. There's a lot of enemies that have death rattles in this game, and we need to, like, move Sonon out of it, because he'll sit there and try and guard it, and then just eat all the damage to his face. Really, really draining his HP, so we really don't want that to happen. Then we're gonna use the throw into that to get a little closer. Okay. There we go. So I used Ninja Cannonball to move him out of the way, and then... Okay. So I'm probably gonna, you know what, I'm gonna grab that without healing anybody. I want him to heal out his HP, or fill out his HP. There is a hallway in between, there's a hallway before Scarlet's room that would give me some more MP, but I don't want to backtrack for it, so I'll top everyone off and then grab it. Or I'll at least top off. Yuffie's probably going to lose some HP from the damn thing. He'll most likely use Eject. Well, they'll always use Eject, but the other one might use Electrophatic Field or whatever, the shock. Thank you for nothing. Yeah, we'll heal him up after this. Oh, no, yeah, I don't need to heal her up because she's going to get it here. So we're going to do that. Heal Thunder Synergy. And the reason, there was another one behind me that died to Windstorm. It's not common that one goes down to it, but it does happen sometimes. So MP can sometimes take quite a long time to travel. That's why you'll see me break crates and then get nothing out of it, and then suddenly I'll get my MP back. So I'm at a pretty high MP value. As long as this fight doesn't go horrendously, we should be okay. Even if it does, I have access to double Kurigas out of this. I don't want to waste my Kurigas on that, but sometimes you have to. Because these, the Magitech Shock Trooper and the regular Shock Trooper are really buff. Uh-huh. Okay, so we're going to want to get over here. Okay. Can we just Windstorm, please? So that should take care of the Magitech Trooper while we're getting rid of this guy. Okay, now we want to get over here. We got to wait for him to decide. Cannonball. But you see kind of how that works. We want to get him out of the way of the attack, so I don't have to heal him for everything. Decent enough. I didn't lose a bunch of HP, so I'm happy with that. Yuffie did lose some, but we have a lot of enemies up here, and since she's got Bloodsucker, she's going to be able to take most of them out and recover. It will limit her damage output a little bit for the first few fights, but hopefully it shouldn't be that big of an issue. It could end up being the difference between a PB and a just another no reset run, so who knows. But overall, it's pretty decent. Nero is the deciding factor. Right now, my Nero strat straight YOLO. I can get through it even with my YOLO setups, but I need to learn a real strat that's consistent instead of just letting it devolve into a heal fiesta. There is apparently a consistent way to deal with Nero, but I have not. I have yet to learn it. I guess I'll have to ask in the intermission Discord, channel, what the strats are. So here we're gonna go with Whirlwind Synergy. It's magic based. So we should be able to get rid of the one that'll have a magic guard before it puts it up, and the other one, if it does get a barrier, we're fine. So we're gonna Synergy. Yep. Okay. See? The combination between the physical and magical portions usually push through those guys pretty quick. So we're going to switch over to a cutter here. Cutters are really obnoxious to deal with. That's part of the reason why I have Lightning Elemental on Yuffie. I'm going to want to break the arm immediately, or one of the cutters, to keep him stun locked. I'll do... I'll probably try and build a little bit of bar, and then go into like a double Art of War, honestly. Okay, well, Windstorm here. Art of War. Want to break that blade because he's going to get back up. I know it.
And one to grow on.
Alright, so the Art of War itself wasn't all of that. It was knowing that a follow-up Synergy Lightning was coming because of it. So this one's a free as heck fight. Even if you like lose a ton of HP to the cutter here, you can recover most of your HP. You have two ways to deal with all these little regular mono drives. One, you can run up and Windstorm, or B, you can throw and then Windstorm that way. I find that the run-up Windstorm is better, because when you throw, it feels like the range is smaller, so there's a decent chance the ones on the outside, or really aggressive ones, will get out of the way. So, there you go.
Analysis concluded.
But you get a bunch of HP back because you kill 6 enemies there, so you get around 1,000. This guy right here kind of sucks. Not as fun. The Morth unit is nowhere near as fun as anything else, but he's a hell of a lot better than a Magitech Trooper. Magic Troopers are a friggin' nightmare to get rid of, to push through. So definitely not happening. I'd rather do a Morth any day of the week. I will probably take some damage because he's just gonna zip slide into me. So I'm just gonna try to not get my head pushed down to the dirt. So we're gonna Windstorm. Looks like he decided to chill out. So we'll just do this for quick damage. We'll have Sonon heal himself up. I'll have him heal Yuffie after this fight. We're also going to put Indurite on him, and then use that to manipulate his materia setup. Indurite, nope. And then we're going to actually put Martialist back on. So that way his materia has changed. Now he's on fire, and he can be on to... Actually, no, I want to put fire here. That's the wrong way. Haste Magnify. There we go. So Haste Magnify is for... Nero. I don't really need it anywhere else. And this right here is weak to fire, not lightning. I believe it's weak to everything but lightning. Ice, you're gonna have a hard time hitting it with. Wind and fire is pretty consistent. So we're gonna... I don't know what the hell is going on there. My brain just short-circuited for a second. Okay, so let's try that again. Instead of like being way out of its range.
Loyal minion. With the power of his
Awful. It totally dodged out of the way of the whirlwind right off the bat. That kind of stinks. So Scarlet is a lot of like stupid nonsense. I do use 4-point on purpose because when you perfect guard with it, you not only pressure an enemy, but you get ATB boost back, which is a pretty decent chunk. She starts off with a flurry of bullets, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to fire Synergy so that I can do a lot of damage to her right off the bat and get her down real quick. And then perfect guard all the bullets, so I get full ATB back. Throw in, do a couple of hits on her main body so that we can get her ready to get stunned. And then Whirlwind, get out of the way, let her rush to the wall, and then follow up, change into Lightning Element, since now we've downed the body, so that we can break the arms quicker in the next phase. You can do it with Lightning Element start, but I haven't quite worked out the ATB route, because I'm trying to activate Skill Master in a very particular way, so we want to fire. See kind of how much ATB I get out of that. That's it. Throw. 1, 2, and pop. Okay. And then this is why I, synergize, desynergize. So now we popped phase 1, easy peasy. Actually, the damage was so close. So what we're looking for here is I want to throw and pop the arm. So I'm actually going to do this in a really awkward way where I throw at one arm and pop the other for Windstorm. Then we're going to throw here and do a bunch of crap this way. Blizzara. Synergize our war. And then we're going to use that to go into a Thunderous Banishment that does max damage. Art of War again. And bingo, bango, bongo. That was a little bit unoptimal, but it got me through the fight perfectly, so I'm happy with what we have. The perfect guarding is actually really good because you also take no damage as well. So we're going to do this, Windstorm. Nice. That was perfect. That fight can be really difficult because they'll decide to disappear on you. This first set of enemies here, we're just going to throw in Windstorm because they're so close. Good. Yuffie is going to keep getting a lot of HP here, so we're good. I'm going to go for a Blizzara here once these NNAs spawn. So we want this. Okay, that's actually really annoying. Blizzara again. Okay, that's actually fantastic. Or not. Whatever. This should finish it off. Throw Clamp won't push through. That was obnoxious. That really cost me a lot more MP than I wanted to. That's super annoying. Well, yeah, that's really annoying, actually. What? There's not much I can do about it, though. So, Windstorm, wait a second. Okay, that was really bad, but whatever. So I gotta be careful with this next fight. I gotta make sure I target the monster, not the VR drone.
Projection mechanism around here somewhere. We can just find it.
Blizzara. Blizzara.
Got it.
Leave it to me. Don't pull any punches.
This should kill. Very tight. I probably should have just built some ATB naturally for Art of War. It would have been a bit quicker. Okay. So, I'm a little bit low on MP. I'm not too happy about that. That's pretty bad. I only have a few spells in my back pocket now. I'm not really happy about this. We're going to actually switch over to Boomerang. Nope. We also want to switch over to, I believe, Kirigamag? Yep. We're not really going to use Fyra unless we absolutely have to. We got 3 Kirigas, roughly 2 unless I build some MP back up, so we're in a really tough spot here. So we're going to throw and Windstorm, So Known Haste, everybody. Synchronize. So we should be able to get a stagger out of this, as long as he doesn't move in a weird way. Then we'll synergize Art of War, desynchronize, go into another Art of War. Then I want to keep doing pressure to make sure I push the phase immediately. So we got the haste up early on. What we're aiming for is another stagger on each phase. This is really YOLO because that first Windstorm is pretty consistent. It really depends on which way Nero moves as to whether it will turn into the stagger and kill phase. This one right here can be really awful He just sometimes says F you. I'm not going down to it. So I'm gonna take this, I'm gonna kind of YOLO this right off the bat. I'm gonna throw at him and try and get out of the way and see if I can get Windstorm going. If he's flying, Windstorm should always work, if I remember correctly. But when he's on the ground, it's kind of like a, well, I'm waiting. So we just gotta make sure we have enough with Sonon to hurry up. Boomerang's a little bit better here because it'll let me get barrier and end barrier if I perfect guard, though the chances for me to perfect guard are few and far in between. Okay. That is not how I should have done that, but whatever. Yeah. The problem there is I didn't get the stagger. So you want to stagger first before that. It is quicker to do it that way, but it's also way more risky. The chances of me getting a limit to finish off phase 4 really quick are slim to none now. Because I'm missing out on like 350 points of limit. So I'm going to have to take an extremely hard beating.
Prepare yourselves, us too.
Thanks for that. Get your butt over here.
Let's get that stagger going. There we go. Art of War anyway. Storm. Okay.
Behold the true beauty of darkness.
I should be able to push through this. I want to synergize Art of War. Should push through and break the Abyssal Wing. Ah, there we go. We're actually fine. Oh, shit. No, dude. 46, 44, I'd say? Nice. What's my current PB? 4711, huh? That's a fat PB. Nice. What's the current... We'll save this real quick. Save. Intermission. Leaderboards. Intermission, new game plus hard. So that might actually be a new world record. 47:15 is the current world record, so that is new world record, yeah.
But I'm so tired.
I could carry you.
You win. Sheesh.
That's cool. So I guess it was worth it, huh? Another derust world record PB, nice. So I'm, it's getting pretty late.